Hey, we live. So go ahead and check us out.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to catch out the live feed right now, live, and interact with us, search us up on Facebook, the Home Invaders Show on CKCU-FM.
The one and only.
That's right.
Yeah,
give that a like.
We're not hard to find. We're not hard to find.
And if you're not, if you can't catch it live and you just want to catch a stream like this,
yeah,
it will be on YouTube. So all them YouTube
sure.
people,
let them know. All them
YouTube people, I gotta get into the swing of this because we're not really, we're not really experienced, but we haven't really had decades in this YouTube shit. You know what I mean?
We're
so
working
hey,
on it, man.
like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff.
All the fun
you know
stuff.
what I mean? You want to talk shit with us on YouTube? Get us. You know, try us. Try us. But yeah, you ready for the work?
Yo, the time right now is 2:38 in the morning. You know what we normally do 2:38 in the morning?
What do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do?
I don't know, man. I'm asking you.
Hi, man, what up?
Right, okay.
All right, let's do this. All right, so today we got periods of snow, a low -13. This afternoon, it's lightly snowing, a high -10. For Friday, it's cloudy with a chance of flurries and a high -21. It's looking sunny for Saturday.
Okay.
And white for Sunday.
Yeah.
And at Carlton U, it's lightly snowing and -8, but with the wind chill, it feels like -12 degrees Celsius, and that's 10 degrees Fahrenheit for our American listeners.
Yeah, boy! Everything is show because we're done, because we're awesome, because we're on the radio show. You know that's what they should do to do.
New Jack City.
Yeah.
Check us out. We do the New Jack Swing thing.
Yes.
Every second Saturday. So not this Saturday, but the one after.
Next one.
We are at midnight, 2 in the morning.
And R&B.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I like to say Canada's one and only R&B show and New Jack Swing show.
I don't think you like to say. I think we are literally the only New Jack Swing show.
Pretty much. But
Ottawa, I'm not
trying
to
get conceited like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to blow our own ego. But hey,
if
it's the truth, I'll take it.
It's the truth.
I'll take it if it's the truth. You know?
No, definitely.
But speaking on the truth, and since we on the truth, and nothing but the truth, let's talk about this, all right? Smash or grab.
Yeah.
We had a Grindhouse double feature.
It's been a while.
We actually checked out the latest installment in the Texas Chainsaw franchise.
Yes.
Leatherface, and also the latest installment of the Jeepers Creepers franchise. With Jeepers Creepers 3. You know? And honestly speaking...
Oh God!
Spoiler alert! They both stunk.
Oh God! I was gonna say both.
But let's chop it up.
Such letdowns.
Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up.
Ridiculous.
Let's because they both were letdowns on their own merits. You know what I mean? They both sucked.
Yeah, both of them are so horribly
disappointing. They both sucked on different platforms, on different areas. But yeah, let's get into this. So, Leatherface. Let's talk about that. What you think? What you think?
I think, man, it was like one reviewer put it as it was like Dawson's Creek but with Texas Chainsaw characters.
I mean, I see why.
Yeah,
I see why, but I kind of don't really agree.
They made Leatherface. You got this big hulking guy who wears like flesh on his face.
They went against the grain.
You know?
They went because like every time you show Leatherface or whatever, it's always this big lumbering idiot. You know what I mean?
They made him
some
this
dude that's like
soft-spoken, shy, very attractive guy. And it's just I'm like, no, not at all. It makes no sense at all.
I appreciate them trying to do something new, but not really.
And then and I told my brother going in, I was like, yo, man, I'm telling you right now, because it's a prequel focused around Leatherface, they're going to try to make him a sympathetic character. And lo and behold, they tried to make him a sympathetic character.
But I mean, they always did, though. Even with the original, they tried to make it seem like he was picked on because of the gap in his face or whatever, and that's why he started wearing.
Let's not forget that this dude. Let's not forget that he's a cannibal that wields a chainsaw and slaughters people. I don't care how you hack it, how you try to break it down, how sympathetic you try to make him be. Let's not forget that at the end result, the end goal always is he's literally wearing another man's face on his. Like that's his whole thing. He's named after the fact that he wears another man's face over his. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that at all. You know, and it's just like 110%. It's like you cannot make somebody like that into a sympathetic character. You just cannot. It's just no matter how you try, I am not going to feel sorry for this guy because at the end of the day, he is responsible for
murders,
countless murders. Then you could argue product of your environment, but at the end of the day, man, you have choice. This guy had a choice, and you see kind of what he went through.
Yeah, this guy right here especially. They gave him intelligence. He did have a choice.
Yes.
But in the originals, he was almost like, I wouldn't say brain dead, but he was kind of like...
He was a little slow. Slow. He was a little slow. Yeah. And like in this one, they're like they were trying so hard in this one to and the movie's just called Leatherface. They're trying so hard in Leatherface to make him seem like, you know, it's because of the family he's in that he's become the way he is. And, like,
pretty much right from the get-go, the force. You know?
But at the same time,
is straight up, you know.
And this happens right at the beginning, so it's not really a huge spoiler. But he gets taken away from his family. And, like, he gets put into foster care. So he hasn't seen his family for 10 years. Yeah. That's a decade. Yeah. That is a decade. From, like, when he was 8, I think the movie starts.
I think so. Birthday, yeah.
8th birthday till 18. Yeah. Like, the legal... You've become a man. 10 years. No, you are not a product of your environment. You literally were not in your environment at all for 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
yeah, because you're in your
at that
own
point,
environment.
You're normalized. You're a regular human
years.
being. You know?
So you're kind of, like, mixed. And at the end, when he kind of switches it up, it's almost like I don't really see it happening. For sure. You know what I mean?
It was kind of weak motivation.
It was. It really was. It really was. The only sympathetic character, in my opinion, happened to be Steven Dorff. You know, and even then, they kind of made him seem like he was corrupt or something like that. But I don't really see.
The real sympathetic character is the dude that they made you lead to believe is Leatherface the whole time.
Nah, man, he was just cannon fodder, honestly speaking.
But he was like literally the only one who like really didn't do anything to anyone. Literally, legit did not.
We don't know his backstory. He was locked in an insane asylum. God knows what he did. So I don't.
They
care.
They tell you what he did. They tell you what he did. He like beat on his stepdad because they took his dog away.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Right. And then like again, they lead you to believe that this is like he was Leatherface the whole time, but then he dies mid movie, and then you're like, okay, so like who's Leatherface then? Oh, like spoiler alert.
Pretty Boy McGee.
Yeah, this guy was very well spoken, soft spoken.
Even the way he, you know, because he started out, his face was normal, you know, but even the way they kind of gave him the scarred face or whatever for him to have, you know, people's faces on him and shit was kind of like whatever to me, you know what I mean?
And man, like, I'm spoiling this movie left and right because you shouldn't watch it, it's garbage. But like, I called the end, I called it so hard, I'm like... Because there's this nurse that, like, he has a thing for, and it looks like they're building a relationship, but then she, you know, in air quotes, betrays him because, like, I don't blame that nurse. Like, she got kidnapped from the asylum because there's this big, because they were all in an asylum, and then there's this big riot that happens, and some of the inmates break free, and, like, she's kidnapped by some of the most homicidal, like, inmates, you know, and they're a couple, and they're a lot like Mickey and Mallory, you know.
Not really.
Yeah, they're crazy in that. They're like super.
Yeah, but not Mickey Mallory. Man, watch Natural Born Killers, all right? Don't watch this.
Natural Born Killers is a better movie, but I'm saying in comparison's sake, they are like that. They're that.
Knock off discount bin. Yeah, okay.
And then redneck version.
I mean, Mickey and Mallory.
Yeah.
Not really that far off there.
But then. So like they're like legit. They go into the diner and they kill everyone, like just because they want to.
Yeah, I actually felt bad for the waitress.
Yeah, the waitress had nothing to do with anything.
And maybe it's my father instincts, you know what I mean? But I kind of was like, yo, if that was my daughter and I saw her getting up in the morning,
that's just a human being, like in general.
I don't know. I still felt bad, and I felt even worse just knowing the fact that she was just doing her job and she got 86 like that. You know what I mean? And horribly 86 too. You know?
And that's who like this nurse. That's who this nurse was with. And so she gets a moment. She tries to break free. And that apparently makes him lose trust because it leads to, his best friend dying and like... Yeah. But I called it hard because at the end, like, they're the only two survivors and they're finally with the cannibalistic family. And I told my brother, I'm like, yo...
They kind of... Did they do the dinner scene? They did, didn't they? It's almost like a staple in every movie.
But they're like, I've told him that I'm betting right now it's her face that he wears. And then, sure enough, that's what the movie ends off
Cliched. I kind of saw... I didn't really see it coming. But when Apollo mentioned it, I'm like, no way. I really hope they don't go down that route.
No,
you know what I mean? But
like,
they did.
It's why else? Because this is a prequel. So Leatherface is going to end up the way that he is. So there's no way in hell that this nurse is going to survive. For sure. There's no way this nurse is going to survive.
But after they killed off Steven Dorff and how menacing he was to the family, I thought he'd be wearing that face.
Nope.
You know?
Yeah.
But now he had to wear the nurse for some reason.
Yeah, the nurse. That's what he went for.
Whatever.
So.
Lily Taylor was in this movie. I like to say what a waste of Lily Taylor.
For sure.
Because she
But
barely
then again,
did anything.
The Haunting is a waste of Lily Taylor as well. So
well,
I think Lily Taylor just needs to be smarter with what role she chooses, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's like, what else was she in? Fuck, let me look this up.
The movie. Let's find that.
Conjuring. Boom. There you go.
Conjuring. I was like, I know I've seen her in another horror movie.
Compare Lily Taylor in Haunting and, Leatherface, and compare that to Conjuring.
For sure.
Right? Conjuring is a great use of Lily Taylor. The other two, just throw it in the garbage straight up. Don't even bother.
Yeah, the Haunting was garbage.
I mean, Catherine Zeta was in it, and that was pretty good. But other than that,
she hasn't been acting all that much anymore.
Nah.
Yeah.
She must be taking care of Michael Douglas, because apparently he has some health issues, didn't he?
Yeah, but even then he's acting. Like, he's an Ant-Man.
He was, but even then, that was around the cusp of his...
yeah, but he's in Ant-Man 2.
Is it really?
Yeah, he is.
Has it been like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
If you say so.
So, he's in it for sure.
That's right.
Michelle Pfeiffer is too, actually.
Really?
She's his wife. She's the original Wasp, apparently.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So.
Okay.
So we'll see kind of what happens.
Yeah, she's set tripping like that, though, eh?
Yeah, doing both Marvel, DC.
Yeah, the Marvel, and like originally she was a DC alumni.
For sure.
You know?
Catwoman.
But
that's the movie that got me into comics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. But so that was Leatherface.
That was Leatherface. Smash or grab.
3. So it's a smash. Don't
yeah,
even
exactly.
Don't waste your time.
Exactly.
It's not worth it.
Exactly.
It's not worth it at all.
Nope.
It's a waste of your life. There's better things you can do.
I'm gonna say this. The best sequel in this whole franchise series, right? When it comes to Texas Chainsaw, I have to say it. You already know.
No,
I have to say
know.
The Next Generation.
Yeah.
The Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey
and his robot legs,
right? And Renee Zellweger, right? And both of them have been nominated for Oscars and Emmys and all that other nonsense, right?
And
that movie's well acted.
That was not a good movie, but it was way better than this one.
Oh my lord,
it was
man!
Definitely way better than this one.
Which Texas Chainsaw movie they're gonna have the Illuminati being the villains?
I know, right? Yeah, definitely.
Straight up.
That one was a weird one.
Yo,
that was a weird
half the dialogue, more than half the dialogue. I don't even know how the actors did it. More than half the dialogue, you got to see the script. I want to see the script.
Yeah.
More than half the dialogue, you just hear it. It's just people just screaming at each other. Like how the hell they got that on the script? And honestly, some of the scenes look like they were ad-libbed. It looks like it was just it was like being in like drama class.
Yeah.
And like they're doing improv. Okay, you're in a scene where this guy got robot legs and he's about to crush your friend's head. So react to that. And go.
Yeah, man.
Straight up. I'm
the problem with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is there's only so much you can do with it.
I guess.
A lot of it's just rinse and repeat at that point.
I guess. People were saying the best sequel was the one that Michael Bay did, I believe. Texas Chainsaw, the beginning, I think.
Yeah, he did that one too. I think
so.
Why'd they trust him in rebooting?
Man, I got no idea, man. Everything nostalgia related. Everything nostalgia related. Halloween. This one. Transformers. Did he do
Halloween?
Yeah, he did. Remember? Not a Halloween. No, that was Rob Zombie. But
no, he
Friday
did
the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street
as well.
This one.
That's 3 big properties.
Transformers, which was garbage anyway. I don't really like Transformers. 80s baby, but not me. Ninja Turtles. At one point under his supervision, he wanted to make them aliens.
Like the Incredible Backlash.
Right. G.I. Joe. He had something to do with that too, didn't they? Pretty sure he did. Pretty sure he did. And I think they're rebooting something else, or they're bringing something back from like the 80s and 90s. And I think he's the dude that's going to do it.
I really hope not. Yeah. But now we got Jeepers Creepers 3.
Okay. This movie took about what, 13, 14 years to make?
14 years.
14 years.
14 years between 2 and 3.
First of all, I would ask Apollo, I want to ask you, what's your favorite thing about Jeepers Creepers?
Oh, the tricked out car that he has.
No, seriously.
Seriously?
Which, we are taking serious, by the way. He does have a tricked out car. You think even Apollo at one point commented out, he's like, yo, this guy would be a good Twisted Metal villain. You know what I mean? Somebody Twisted Metal. And I say that,
Yeah.
But straight up, for real though, what was your favorite thing out the Jeepers Creepers movies?
Going back to the original, the creepiest, and like what I loved about it too is how little they showed of the creeper. And he felt like this big hulking, like menacing figure, And you didn't really see him until the end.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You caught glimpses of him, but you didn't really fully see him until the end. And it had a very dark overtone towards the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think half of this one, if not 75% of this one, was shot in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes place in between the first and the second movie, which I guess is a good concept. It's kind of fresh like that because in a day and age, where everything's either a prequel or like a sequel.
This one is a prequel though.
Not really.
It is. Yes, it is.
Not really.
It's a prequel. It's a pre-sequel.
Pretty much, because the way chronologically the movies go,
for sure,
it's number 1, then number 3, and then number 2. You know, and they kind of link the two.
And then literally, like, it takes place right after number 1 ends, and it ends right when number 2 takes place.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so like it literally fills in that like.
But like honestly, I don't know if it was the movie that we watched.
Yeah.
But like the way it was shot did not feel like a movie. It didn't even feel like a TV movie. Yeah, it felt like an episode from like X-Files. Not even no. Yeah. Because Leatherface, I'm pretty sure it was straight to DVD. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but even then, let's talk about something that was for sure straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's 33.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
That movie was straight to DVD, or hell, even straight up that movie. It didn't feel like it was a TV movie. It didn't feel like it was like a straight to DVD movie. It had that feel. You know what I mean? It looked like it was cinematic quality, but they just put it straight to DVD.
Yeah, but like a filmmaker like Rob Zombie, I feel like is really, really, really good at working on and working with what he has.
Pretty much, so but here's the thing. No. But here, let's make it serious. Okay, right here, the director from Jeepers Creepers 3 and Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2. He's decorated. He's been in the game. He's been in Hollywood. He's made Hollywood movies that hit the theater.
Yeah.
So he has that over Rob Zombie.
He does.
You know, in terms of a quality or whatever. But this movie legit felt like an overextended episode of the X-Files.
Oh, it was bad. It was really, really
bad.
The
way it was shot, the way it was presented.
The wooden romance.
The romance.
The wooden romance.
The fact that barely anything happened.
Yeah.
They kept hyping it up that you're going to find out the backstory.
And then you don't find out the backstory. Everybody's holding hands with this, like, his severed hand. And it was so important. Like, legit, they're holding hands with this thing. And then, like...
The characters that do hold hands and you think they would play a role in the movie, spoiler alert, they get 86. So it really adds to absolutely nothing.
Of course.
You know?
And, like, for 14 years, almost 15 years... Yeah. This movie was just not worth it.
No.
It was not worth the wait.
No.
Like, I was expecting way more.
Right.
And then,
honestly speaking,
so little
the Creeper is one of my favorite, like, you know, monsters or whatever that actually come out from, like, the 2000s. You know what I mean? You could actually put him in with, like, Hellraiser, you know, like Pinhead or whatever. And, like, you know, Jason
he kind of cemented his own place.
Yeah. Right? And, like, all of a sudden, it's just shits. It was the shits, you know? And, like, we watched the movie and, like, it didn't really help. It had like the Sci-Fi Network down at the bottom. Yeah. So to me, it's like, all right, was this a straight up sci-fi movie?
Like a sci-fi original?
Right?
Yeah.
And they just kind of bought the license and stuff. And I'm like, how in the hell, like with a movie caliber like Jeepers Creepers, this should have been in the theater.
Well, there's a lot of controversy with the creator and the writer. And
when is there no controversy, though? Especially in this day and age.
But this is like sexual misconduct with a minor.
When is it not?
So, like, no. A lot of careers have been ending left and right. So, like, I think, to be honest, well, first of all, they claim that, who had it? Was it Dimension? Whichever movie studio had it before.
I think it was Dimension.
Apparently, they didn't have enough money to put it out. But I don't, like, fully believe that that's the only reason. And I don't fully blame them with, like, the allegations with the filmmaker. To be honest, I'm more surprised this movie came out.
Okay, same movie, but they had the money and they had the budget. What you think? Still worth it or still shits?
I don't know. Like you said, man, with that script, not a lot happened.
No, man.
Not a lot
happened. And like you pointed out, it was all shot in the daytime, you know?
Yeah. And then, like, I think they shoot him up and he gets all damaged and stuff. And then I think he just, like, literally just flies off and that's it.
Yeah, because, like, how many people does he actually kill?
Yeah.
3?
Oh, I guess so.
You know? Yeah. Imagine in number 2, he killed a busload of kids.
I know, right?
Teenagers, you know?
The stakes have never been their lowest.
Oh, my Lord.
Legit have never been their lowest.
Yeah. And then at one point, he gets caught up in his own trap in the car. Let's talk about the car. The car is, like, plated. The car is, like, souped up, plated.
But also it has, like, this magical force field where whatever you shoot at it, it ricochets back at you.
That's what I'm saying. It's, like, crazy plated. Right?
And so at one point, like, they got this, like, heavy machine gun and they're shooting at it and it just, like,
what did they say? It was, like, 20 caliber bullets.
Yeah, and then, like, it just kills the cops who are, like, shooting at it, you know?
And then one of the dudes actually ends up getting the gun and he ends up blasting the creeper and it barely does any damage. Yeah. Barely anything, you know?
Of course.
In the first movie, what did they hit him with? And it just, like, messed up his head nicely.
Well, they ran over him over and over and over again.
No. They hit him with a bar. They were, like, it went right through his eye. And he kind of, like, pulled it. And so there's a big gap. That was number 2.
Yeah. Forget that. His own car, what it did to him.
Yeah, right.
And that's just, like, a rod.
Yeah.
But apparently, like these 50 caliber bullets barely.
20 caliber bullets. Yeah. You know.
But it does mess him up. It does mess him up. But the extent, like if you look at it like a regular human being, you'd be paced,
obliterated.
You know, you'd be dust.
Right.
You know, like it's crazy.
But nope. Yeah. Nothing. This guy walks it off. Aside from like one of his wings being messed up. Yeah. You know. And like all good. And that's about it. And like in the second movie, again bringing it back. Yeah. After his head got like messed up like that, he took somebody else's head off. Yes. And then he ate it. To you know, because if you didn't know, right? Because this movie's been a while, 14 years, right? Course, this guy eats to regenerate his body parts, you know,
and that's what makes him unique. So he comes every 23 years, and he gets a chance
feeds to kind for 23 days,
and he eats to kind of like upkeep his own body. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why the hand scene. When I say they hold hands with the original hand, he got his hand severed, and so he like at the beginning it's implied that he ate it and then kind of regenerated it. Yeah. And somebody finds it. And they take it and they hide it and ends up dying because of it. And then it cuts to their farm.
Because he knew too much.
Yeah, he knew too much because he found out his backstory, the one that we never found out about. And then, like, it cuts to his mom and his little sister, and, like, they find the hand, and I guess hilarity ensues. Yeah. It wasn't scary at all. There's nothing about this movie that was absolutely terrifying. Nothing was scary about it. No. When I say the stakes literally have never been their lowest, honestly, I legit mean the stakes have literally never been their lowest.
The backstory that they keep hyping up about this dude, if it's anything as crazy as the car,
man, we still have not even talked about the car.
Shut it down right now.
So this car, it's like super tricked out. It has this magical force field. Like literally, this kid threw. It's not just bullets. This kid threw a rock to try to break the windshield. It bounced right off and hit him in the face like it was a rubber ball. Right. So there was that. Even beyond that, there's like traps within the car itself. Yeah. So the car in itself is a death trap, you know?
And then he's got like this little hook that comes out of a pipe. That comes out of a pipe. Exhaust pipe.
Yeah, and the hook thing like shoots on a string. It's like a spear. It's like Scorpions like spear, get over much. Here attack. Yeah. And, like,
that's pretty much what it is.
Like I'm literally telling you, it's a goddamn Twisted Metal car. Yeah. You know? And so like if you're in the car, there's no way you're getting out. Like it's hard for you to get out. And even like to get out of the back, like there's spikes that kind of come through and like kind of chomp on you. So like you have to time it very, very
lame.
Right.
It was all lame.
But like at one point, and even that, oh my god, it was so stupid. It was so dumb. Yeah. There's two people alive in the car, and there's no reason for them to be alive. They should be dead. And then they're like.
Plot convenience. That's the only reason why
exactly, and I loved, like, it was hilarious how they tried to explain it.
Even like, some of the exposition, the dialogue, they literally, man, it was just forced, you know. You know why she's broke, right? Yeah. Because she's trying to feed her horse. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
one guy turns and like one of the survivors turns and he looks at the girl who's like, you know, the main character, and he's just like, she's like, why are we even alive? Because like it's literally a car full of dead bodies. And they're the only two that are alive. And they're like, you know, why are you even alive? And he's like, oh, I don't think he fully knows that we're dead yet. I think like we were just both knocked out. And
for a man that smells fear, he's got a third nostril, like literally right here to smell fear. You're telling me he doesn't know when somebody's dead or alive yet? Somebody that's been killing people for 23 years?
No, man, it's like beyond that.
And beyond
23 years, ever since the dawn of man.
For 23 days,
they literally
he's been racking up
he's
dead
been
bodies.
Around since the dawn of man, and he can't tell when a human being's alive or dead. It was the stupidest thing. And then it gets even worse. Because he falls to his own trap. His own trap in his own car. It's like, how? There's no reason for this. This movie's so stupid.
Even like, yo.
It's so stupid.
He had like this little hole by the car door or whatever.
It's a car seat. It was the driver's car seat.
And so like, I guess it's motion detected or whatever. I don't know. This guy's been alive since God knows when, but he knows motion technology,
like,
I guess.
No. Like, literally, he has like little explosive bombs that like homing that track you.
Yeah, right.
Motion detection is not like beneath him at this point.
I think he hit up the dude from like the tall man from Phantasm, you know, and he kind of like remixed his ball thing.
Oh,
but okay. So it's motion detected or whatever, and he kind of puts his head in that direction, and this bar just goes right through his temple, through and through. Yeah. Right. And like, you see him like up close, you know, his eyeballs are like, you know, shaking and stuff, and like even the way the eyeball just popped right out of his head. It legit made this Looney Tunes sound like pop, you know? Like, there was no seriousness to this movie. It's like, for real? There was so much music in this movie, too. And I even looked at a pile. I'm like, yo, every scene has some music to it. You know, there's no silence every time. Like, okay, I'm not like a Hollywood filmmaker or whatever, but I know if there's a serious scene, I would have it silent, you know, so people would take in the dialogue, people would take in the seriousness of the scene, the tone, right?
Bro, there was no seriousness. There's no seriousness.
There was nothing.
There was no weight to this movie.
Nothing.
There's no suspense to this movie.
Nothing. And it took 14 years, man. Like, and I'm a fan. I actually like number 1 and number 2, you know?
For sure.
And it seemed like it took it down, you know, like, what was it? Like
14A?
Yeah, 14A. I'm pretty sure the first 2 weren't 14A at all.
No.
At all. They neutered this creeper right here. Straight up.
At one point in the movie, did you feel the tension?
No, because like you said, it was during the daytime. And there was no pauses in the music. They never really gave us...
No, not at all. And they threw in a bunch of characters that you don't care about.
Right.
And you know that they're only there to die.
Right.
And then they have like promise of this backstory that they never show you.
No.
That all of 2 people see. And then you have like this one cartoonish character who just... all he wants to do is kill the creeper because he watched like... even the backstory was very like anime-esque. It was like, he was 10 and the creeper just swooped down and ripped his dad's heart right in front of him and ate it, all while looking him in the eye. Then he took off, and that was it. And then he was like, and now he spent his whole life dedicated to tracking this guy down and killing. And they had like a creeper task force.
Yeah,
and like these
pretty
guys,
much the victims and the families,
the cops, like and they're all in blue hats with like the creeper's face on it, and it's a skeleton with wings, and I was like, oh my god, the goddamn Power Rangers
on the jacket and stuff.
This is ridiculous.
You know? I don't know if the movie was serious. I would have been like, I think I would have picked up one of them patches and just did it up on the jacket, but no.
Like, it was absolutely, the whole movie was just ridiculous. It was ludicrous. It was laughable. It was not worth it. And you know what? Like, you know, Leatherface was bad. I do not recommend watching Leatherface.
But at least it had the cinema quality, you know?
And not only that, even beyond that, at no point did I watch Leatherface and I was, like, very angry about watching it. You know? Like, did I waste my time? Yes. Do I regret it? Not really.
Let's talk about
We laughed about it a little bit.
Yeah, no, we did. But here's the thing, all right? Remember the scene, going back to the diner scene, where they just, like, you know, totaled that
just
the
laid
waitress,
waste.
right?
Yeah, they just laid waste to that.
Do you think, and here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Talking about music in scenes, there was absolutely no music in that scene whatsoever.
I don't think so.
Right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that scene would have been as effective if they had some kind of score going on in the back?
The right score, maybe. But the problem is, Jeepers Creepers 3 does not use the right score at all.
Even then, it just goes scene to scene to scene to scene, and there's absolutely no quiet moments, you know? No quiet moments, and I don't know about you, but that's one of my pet peeves in movies. I think the one quiet moment is when, like, you know, the main girl's with her horse. Yeah,
and I think that's it.
I guess.
And it's like, and even then, this is a maybe. This is a hard maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and like watching this movie, I was angry about it. I'm like, yo, 14 years for something that wasn't fully worth it. Like,
no, it wasn't.
It's a waste of time.
You know,
but don't watch both movies.
If the studio really had problems and issues with the director and his shady backstory, whatever,
man, just axe him out.
Alan Smithy, no, keep the same. Alan Smithy.
But just take him out. Like, there's no reason in Hollywood, man. When like writers, directors, producers, unless you're like a Scorsese, like people like they're kind of a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? And especially with horror. Like, horror is a good genre for new filmmakers, directors, screenwriters to kind of break through. Actors as well. Yeah. A lot of actors actually got their big breaks in horror movies.
Even directors, man. You know, Brian De Palma with Carrie. You know, even Scorsese at one point did a horror movie too.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's but like, yeah, man, I don't know. This movie's just. But what really blows my mind too is this was the original creator who did make 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yo, what changed? Like, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
Because this is your script that they worked off of.
Yeah, because he wrote it too.
Yeah,
he wrote it too.
Even if you had cinema quality, even if you had the money and the backing, there's no way I think you could, like, that script was just boring.
It was.
It was just absolutely boring.
It needed the producer. It definitely needed a producer. It needed somebody to actually,
of course,
you know, make them scenes better.
For sure.
You know, somebody to stand it up and be like, you know what?
And honestly, I think
go from daytime to nighttime.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it being a sequel, prequel also hurt it, to be honest with you.
I think so too, because we're talking about the daytime, nighttime thing.
Yeah.
Because the original movie, the first movie took place at night.
Yeah,
and this movie picks up literally the next day, I guess, right? So the next day happens to be in the daytime.
But no, not only that, like even Leatherface. The problem I have with these horror prequels is you kind of, everybody that you're being introduced to, everyone you're seeing, they're more or less gonna die. And you know that someone like Leatherface is gonna stay alive.
I mean, it worked for Titanic, right?
Stay alive. Yeah, but Titanic is different. That's a real life situation that happened that they fictionalize. You know how it's gonna end. But it still didn't take away from the emotional gravity. This is a horror movie. The horror movies are different, man. Still, you kind of know what's gonna happen.
Titanic's whack anyway, man.
And that's how I called Leatherface when I told you, yo, this is what's gonna happen, and then it happened.
It happened.
It's just like there's a thing in cinema called Chekhov's gun, and it's the whole idea of you don't introduce something unless it's gonna be used. So if you introduce this gun in the first act, then you know it's gonna get used in the final act, in the third act.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and so like. That's how I knew. I was like,
well,
with the nurse, there's no way they would have
Let's get specific. Since we talk about Jeepers Creepers, they're not going to introduce that hook shot thing from the pipe unless it's going to get used.
Unless it's going to get used. Exactly. I don't know. That movie was just not worth it.
They had this one character.
Not worth it.
They had this one character, and, his dialogue was horrendous, talking about how survival of the fittest, blah, blah, blah. He trapped this rabbit.
You knew he was going to die.
And they tried hard to make you hate him, and it's like, man... Him trapping the rabbit and trying to starve it to death doesn't make me hate him. It's him talking and his dialogue makes me hate him. You know what I mean?
And then he goes dirt biking with his friends and it's just like... Yeah, man.
That movie sucked.
Smash both. Yep. Both are a waste of time.
Smashing both to hell.
Both of them do not live up to the legacy of the franchises they came from.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Don't bother at all. What's absolutely heartbreaking about Leatherface too, I believe it was
Leatherface not so much, man. It's been done to death.
No.
It's almost expected.
No. What's heartbreaking about that is it was the last movie that Tobe Hooper produced. I believe.
Yeah. But again, going back to the originals, right? He saw this. He was a producer, so he had say over this, and he let it happen. And the movie sucked.
But that's what he left off his legacy with.
A stinker.
The GQ version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, man. Yeah. For sure.
Nah.
Right. And Jeepers Creepers, it definitely did not need to be neutered like that. If I was, the original dude did do it. But I'm saying, remember when they did Godzilla?
Yeah.
And then Japan didn't like it, so they had their own version, and they included it. And it's what the States thought was Godzilla actually wasn't.
Yeah.
It was actually something else. But here's our real Godzilla, and he's going to beat the shit out of the stateside Godzilla.
Yeah, I remember
and they did. In the 86, they were quick times. So I think they should do something like that and just be like, you know what, this movie never happened.
Non-continuity.
This is what you thought happened, but this is what it needs.
Because we talked so much bad stuff. I will say this, and I did say this to Live and Large as well. I was like, you know what, good on them for actually making it Jeepers Creepers 3 and not rebooting, especially in an era of reboots. But at the same time, though, I think it would have been more successful if they kind of started off with their own original story and not try to tie number 1, number 2 together.
I mean, I see where they're going. They kind of hinted that something big is going to happen in the next one.
Yeah, I know, but why not just
one.
Obviously this girl was down, right? Why not just have that be 3?
Because really, they drag it out. That's all.
They just fully showed how useless 3 is in the franchise.
Pretty much.
Do we really need a tie-in from the first movie to the second movie?
Even the way it ends. Honestly speaking, thinking about it now, there was no rise in action and
that's what I'm saying. Nothing happens in that movie, and that's why when you're like, well, it didn't have enough money. It looked like it's poorly shot. Even if you had the craziest Hollywood backing financially for this. The script is just nothing happens. There's no rising action. There's no tension. There's no climax. There's no resolution. There's no character development. There's no characters you like. Screw that. There's no real characters you hated either. Everybody was just there. It was just there, one-dimensional, one-sided, stereotypical. You had the old, war veteran-esque, haggard, fighter who knows everything about this character. They don't fully tell you how he knows, but he's been hunting.
Well,
this
they ripped him off. They ripped him off straight from Jason Goes to Hell. Anyway, remember that black dude from Jason Goes to Hell?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, we're actually doing this.
Horror franchises, when they run out of ideas, they have this one titular character who, like, you know, is like into this mysticism and knows kind of how to combat.
How do you know?
Tell you how, but you know he's gonna die because he's way too valuable to keep alive. You know, and it's just. Yeah, like, no, man. It was there was a cop.
There was a cop in this movie that was super down. Right? So he's seen the car. They called it a slaughterhouse on wheels.
Yeah.
So he's seen that. He's seen the dead bodies. I'm pretty sure he's seen the creeper and his extent of, like, you know, damage and what he could do and stuff like that. All of that. So he was super down. We got to get him. We got to get him.
For sure.
Then all of a sudden, with the hand scene, when they get to the hand, and they're like, yo, we gonna touch this hand.
All of a sudden, he just changes his mind.
That's when he changes his mind. He's like, no, I don't believe in none of this. No, what's going on?
It's like, yo, you saw it with your own eyes.
Right?
This is a squad of people. They literally tell you this guy watched his dad get his heart ripped out and eaten in front of him.
Right?
Like, yo, what happened?
You've seen
Why
the
do you all of a sudden don't believe in this thing that you've seen with your own eyes?
It makes no sense. It makes absolutely zero sense.
And even then, the hand's not inconspicuous. It's not like, you know, the gorilla paw that gives you wishes. Where you're like, oh, it could be real, it could be not. Like, this hand's moving. It literally moves. In that scene, the hand is moving.
A severed hand
and, like,
moving.
Tries to grab them, you know? And it's just like, what happened?
You don't believe it.
Why don't you believe it?
You believe in this mumbo jumbo?
No, how could you believe in this? Like,
God damn.
Oh, jeez.
God damn.
Poor
you legit
writing.
saw it unfold. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's exactly what it is. You saw it unfold right before your eyes, but then all of a sudden it's like, nope, we in disbelief now.
For
no reason
whatsoever.
You've
seen the severed hand move like Cousin It.
You've seen the tricked out car.
What was the hand called in Addams Family? Thing. Moving like the Thing from Addams Family. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're just like, no, this isn't real.
Yeah.
No, how can you guys believe this?
Mind missile
Everybody,
thing.
We need to just go home.
Yeah.
It's like,
let's just go home and forget about it.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Spoiler alert. Somebody should have said that to the entire cast, to the entire production team. Let's just go home and forget about this.
Let's just go home and forget
Call
about
it a day. Pretty much, they pulled the Duke Nukem Forever. It took them forever to make this movie, and it just sucked at the end of the day. The finish result was just garbage.
Not worth it. Not
worth
it.
Definitely smash the bits. Smash to oblivion. You know what I mean? Sci-fi movie all day, every day. So that should tell you exactly what kind of quality it's on. Yeah. You know?
And like, even Leatherface, at least Leatherface had some tension to it.
There was a rise in action. There was a story. You know what I mean?
There's a beginning, middle, and an end. This movie just
coherent beginning, middle, and end.
This movie just kind of ended.
Yeah.
It just like...
Yeah.
And even then, like, it's not necessarily like there was no beginning, middle, and end. It was just like, just scenes happening.
Pretty much.
It was like, oh, here's a creeper. This is what he's doing now. Oh, look at this cool, sick, like, tricked out car.
Shouts out to
the
Exhibit.
license plate is back. Yeah, Pimp My Ride. Exhibit hooked him up.
Hell yeah, he did.
You know?
Rumor has it, though, they kind of pulled funding afterwards, though. They're like, yo, give us our shit back.
Yeah, no. You know? This movie's like, why?
Hey.
I just kept asking myself throughout the whole like, why? Why did you decide to do this? Why is this guy? Why did you choose to take the franchise in this direction? Why is this supposed to tie number 1, number 2? Is that really necessary? Like, this is a whole lot of whys. This is a whole lot of... Why does this guy know all about the creeper? You know, like...
Yeah.
You know, why aren't they showing us his backstory that they promised?
Explained
you know?
I fought it 23 years ago.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Thanks. Awesome.
I mean, at least they kind of explained it. They ripped off the character from...
Yeah, but it was a
Jason
lot of
Goes to Hell, but at least they kind of sort of explained it. Jason Goes to Hell, absolutely
a lot of
nothing.
this was tell, not show.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
Exposition
story writing 101.
This movie should have been called Jeepers Creepers Exposition.
Exposition, yeah.
Straight up.
Just
you know what
exposition. The whole movie just told you an exposition.
But that's it. That's all it is. You know, time now is 3:16. We just whooped that movie's ass, so we gotta go.
Nah, man.
We got some more tunes coming at you. We got Now Groove coming at you with Why It Gotta Hurt So Bad. Because goddamn, why do those movies gotta hurt so bad? You know? Especially being classics like that.
Man.
But hey.
I have no idea.
It is what it is. Check us out. We still on. And I want to say much love to everybody tuning in.
Yeah.
Much love to everybody tuning in on the radio. Much love to everybody tuning in on the video.
Yes.
And shouts out to everybody that's going to be watching this on the YouTube. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. You know, if you watch the movies, let us know what you think. Was there any good? Was there any bad? You agree or disagree? And hey, we'll start something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, without further ado, Now Groove holding it down for Cap City with Why It Gotta Hurt So Bad. Check it out.
Home
The track is hot.
Y'all
know what it is. we got a caller.
Yeah.
Sick as you. What's up, dude? Okay.
Yo, say goodbye. I'm gonna end it. Cool. Yes. So that's it. Yeah? Yo, these movies were garbage. Do not bother watching it.
I don't know though, because like, they said that he was
definitely not worth it.
And then all of a sudden you see it, it's like some next level
technology. But yeah,
technology
hopefully you enjoyed it.
We don't even have
hopefully at least you kind of got some enjoyment from our pain, because it was very, very painful watching these movies. I'm just glad I didn't pay price of admission, because it definitely was not worth it at all. Yeah, man, stay tuned with us. We're still here till 6 in the morning. So if you're tuned in on the live stream and you want to kind of catch it, then CKCUFM.com, 93.1 FM. We are here. Other than that, man, if you're kind of tuning in past tense, then you could always check us out on demand. Just look up the Home Invasion Show. Literally Google it, Home Invasion Show on demand. It should all be there. You can see an archive of our radio shows for the last 6 months. So you can definitely, and it's like a podcast. You can listen to it, pause it, stop it. So there's definitely that option, and that way you don't have to consume 4 hours in one go if you don't want to. You can kind of take it bit by bit. Have us last through the week until the next Home Invasion show. Just saying. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching it. Check out our YouTube. And that's it, man. Peace.